The gentlelady from the state of Texas, Sheila Jackson Lee, for 2.5 minutes, and her predecessor, Congressman Mickey Leland, who was so involved in these issues over time. Sheila Jackson Lee, 2.5 minutes.
Let me thank the Congressional Black Caucus and Mr. Fattah and our chairwoman, Congresswoman Fudge, for bringing us all together on this very important evening. It gives me great privilege to be able to speak about this patriot, this human rights leader, this father and husband, this man who experienced incarceration but yet came out with the limitations that would normally shackle anyone completely released. And it's important to connect Nelson Mandela to Houston, and this signifies many of us who gathered in front of the federal building just a week ago to be able to honor him and to acknowledge him. So many of us wanted to share and extend our love. We also participated in honoring him in restaurants in Southwest Houston, and throughout the week. As I go home this week, we will honor him at the George R. Brown Convention Center and the Shape Community Center. Last Sunday, I was able to call in to a very important honoring at the Rothwell Chapel, celebrating Dominique Demenel, who invited Nelson Mandela to Houston, Texas in 1991, 1 year after he was released from Robbins Island. And the surprise and the excitement was that he accepted her invitation, the Demenels being great humanitarians themselves, and brought together the connection between Houston, the nation, and South Africa, and the patriot that Nelson Mandela Madiba was, and of course will always be reminded of. We listened to the stories of the time that he had to pull away from the ANC to form a fighting unit, if you will, a rebel unit. And I also explained that to people, that it was no less than the patriots who stood on the shores of this country to fight against oppression and to stand against the British and to dump tea into Boston Harbor, to rebel against oppression. And so I would never call Nelson Mandela a terrorist. I would call him a patriot, one who loved his beloved South Africa and wanted to make sure that those who understood that apartheid could not stand would recognize that he had no other choice. But yet, in time, he was able to make other choices. And I'm reminded of his words, courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. And he triumphed over fear, but he triumphed over bitterness. And he opened his arms, and coming out of that incarceration in 1990 and walking in freedom, standing with his then wife Winnie, and now his beloved wife that has been with him for the past 15 years, he expressed to the